So we saw a video of a pastor that was saying that if a wife or a woman controls a house, that house, there's a tendency that the children will grow up bad. They will be, they wouldn't be responsible adults in society because they didn't have that, they didn't have the dominance of the man in the house. As extreme as it sounds, some would agree that for a home to thrive, you need the father figure that says, I'm the one in charge. You know, that dominance, that factor of the man. I know as I said, it's a bit of a delicate balance because in the modern times, we're trying to say it's a 50-50 situation. But what are your thoughts? And I'll probably also start with the lady, so let the lady say a few things for I hear your own view. How do we balance this thing? Where do you agree that the structure of a home should have that male dominance? If not, there's a tendency that the children will not be successful adults in future.
Okay, so let me... Okay. I feel like the structure in the home should have a leader.
Okay.
That's the word I would use. There must be a defined leader. In most cases, we prefer, based on religion, that it is a man, that the man should be in that leadership position. And religion supports it, our ethnicity supports it, patriarchy supports it. So, by default, when we think about leadership in a home, we say a man. But what a family needs itself is not a man, but leadership. We've had single family where a woman raises 3, 4, 5 children, and the children do amazing. They become successful.
Yeah.
And it is not because she's a woman, it's because she is a leader. She led the family. And there are places where you have a man in the house and things go wrong because the man didn't lead. So when pastors preach like this, we extol the role of being a man as opposed to helping a man become a leader. And we're discrediting a woman taking the role of leadership because a woman might step up as a leader in the family and it'll be like she's the one controlling things, but she had to because the man didn't lead. But you now make the woman feel bad that, oh, your children would not be well because how many families are is a woman leading and the family turned out good?
But you see, where there's competition, both of them have the ability to lead. Both of them are equally doing well to lead. Who then takes the backseat? Because what this pastor is saying is that even if both of you are capable, somebody must step down. Or that if you don't step down, if you are the woman taking the top, these children will not be successful.
I think the average woman wants a man to lead her. Our default is to nurture. Our default is to work with someone who is a visionary, and then we're able to, grow our environments in love and, happiness and softness and empathy. That's our natural default. Now, when a man is not able to step up to his natural default of being a leader, being the figure of authority, being someone who is a visionary, who has a plan for the next 10 years, next 20 years, this is where I want this family to be. And that man does not take that, because some men actually cannot fit into that for whatever reason, maybe childhood, trauma, whatever. They are not able to fit into their role. The woman takes up that leadership role. But the truth of the matter is, it weighs down on the woman, because her natural default is to nurture. So any woman you ask, they will tell you, I want a man that can lead me. And when they don't have a man that can lead them, they feel a certain type of way. It becomes burdensome because they are now adding the leadership plus the nurturing that they are supposed to. That's their natural default, and they are mixing everything together. So you see a lot of women who are in strife and consistently struggling because they are playing two roles. So it's not about is the man. Fine. By default, the man is supposed to, even in the Genesis, the man was instructed to tend the garden. The man did the work. The man provided authority and leadership and all that. And the woman was supposed to take care of the man. And then when the family started coming, she was able to handle it. That's the natural order of things. But we've seen that in reality, not all men can step into their natural ability. And that has nothing to do with how the children turn out. So it's not a blanket. You can still have two strong leaders, and then the children don't turn out where they are not paying attention to the leadership.
So when we come to Ali Baba, you see, when we have these, especially men of God, because when I was watching that video, you could hear the audience or the women say, yes, daddy, go ahead. because they were really vibrating to what he was saying. And what he was really saying is that if there's a house where a woman is in control, there's no way those children can actually
Turn out well.
grow well or be successful in future. Is that still factual?
Well, the issue here is, like she said, is about leadership. What happens in most homes is that if there is a fight for leadership, everything will break down.
Yeah.
My best understanding is the man should lead, but not force himself and make everybody, like I was saying something before we went on. I said, everywhere you see a man saying, I'm the head of this home, I'm the boss of this home, clearly he's not. Because when you begin to say, I'm the head of this home, then you are not. Yeah. Growing up, we hear my mom say something. When your dad comes today, you will see what he will do to you. And then your dad comes, she goes to tell your dad what has happened. Yes. Sometimes even tell him what punishment to give. We don't see that. Yeah. And then your dad now comes and says, because of this, you won't do this, you won't do that. And what the woman has done is that she has leveraged on his leadership to control. Because next time she says, when your dad comes, you will see what he will do to you. You correct yourself. I will report you if you don't do this.
That's a woman who has accepted that leadership. But let's go to...
No. So women do not drop it. You know, these days you find women who want to be very assertive and say, oh, it's 50-50. Yeah. If you listen to an interview that Obama's wife gave sometime back, he said, sometimes it is 70%, sometimes it's 80%. Yeah. Sometimes the man just plays, cool. Exactly, just stays back and says, just control. And comes in only once in a while to say, this is what I want. You know, but some women in the house will take it that because I've allowed you to play this role doesn't mean that you are the one that actually heads the home. There are some people who delegate authority to you and play the role of
supervising, or...
kingmaker.
Okay.
I'm the one that made you do this. Yeah. And so most times you find some people, like they say, when you see a young man go into the market and slap the strongest person there, you know he was sent.
He has a back.
Let me come to you. Let me bring in this angle. There are women who are well empowered compared to their husbands. As in, she's the MD.
You're talking financially.
Financially, economically empowered. They're traveling to Japan for meetings, for breakfast. He, unfortunately, hasn't been able to start off his business properly. And obviously, he has issues with self-esteem issues based on his inability to provide financially, like his wife is. That kind of person is who this pastor is probably referring to, because that person also wants to exert his leadership. You know what? You're not traveling to Japan today because you're staying home, because you have to stay home and do this. And she's like, no, I got a meeting, I got to go.
But that is in a family where they have put headship based on finances. If you have put headship based on finances, then that will fly. It is the same way to say, oh, we're traveling to Canada for summer. And the man says, no, let's go to Ghana. And the woman says, we're going to Canada, I'm paying. What has happened is she has said, I'm the one funding it, and so I'll determine where
we're going. Yeah.
Oh, the children must go to this school. The man says, no, they can't go to that school. Let them go to this one. And the point should not be financial. The man will say, let them go to this one, because I think because of the courses and everything that they have, this is best. Not because I am paying, that's the school they must go to. So if you let finances determine who heads the home, the man will lose.
Because I think even a woman who is going to Canada, Japan for business meetings and doesn't even really have time to have control in the home. She's too busy gallivanting
in
around
boardrooms.
Yeah,
not gallivanting.
Is the man?
It's work.
It's not work. It's not gallivanting. Okay, it's work, but she's still not at home to control the home. So, in that situation, the man would be in control of the home. You know, and having said that, it's the same vice versa. If it's the woman, if it's the man that is gallivanting or going for work, wherever, it's the woman who is at home that is in control, really, of that home. It is a present parent that is in control. That's how I see it.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll see if we can wrap up on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing our topic, especially we're linking it up to the fact that this is International Women's Month, and the theme was embracing equity, you know, and in embracing equity, how do we ensure equity in the home? So we have a pastor here saying that if there's a woman leading, it means that the children will not turn out well. And we're saying that today's modern society, there are lots of women leading in the home. So is the acceptance of this new format, is it how accepting is it for us as a society? Because women are leading. Many banks now have bank MDs that are female. Many organizations have owners that are MDs, and they're doing well compared to their male counterparts.
Okay, you know, there are still men who have not accepted the fact that women can be anything but.
Yes.
Okay, when we were in school, the question paper that you are given in an exam hall doesn't say this is female, this is male. If the question says answer 4 questions, you must answer question 1.
First.
Everyone would do the same thing. And so when you graduate, they don't say, oh, women, give them a second class upper, give men. You all sit for the same exams. So when you then graduate and have the same degree, and you go to a bank or anywhere to work, you should be treated on the face value of your qualification.
Yes.
It is not gender-based.
Exactly.
So when it comes to the home, the gender that is making people think that, oh, the man should be the one that is, if the man does not have the capacity to be a leader,
You should step down.
he should step down. The woman should carry it on.
Yeah.
But what happens most times is that some men even that don't have money to put on the table will tell you that I don't eat overnight soup. The one that doesn't have money to put on, he will say, I don't eat overnight soup. Or my wife must always prepare the food that I eat, whether we have house help or not. And then she leaves home for 6:30 a.m. to get to work for 8. And then closes about the same time, 7 in the evening. And then gets home.
And starts making fresh soup.
Fresh soup. Because
But don't you think that those men are being unreasonable?
Oh, no. We know
no.
they're unreasonable men, just as they're unreasonable women as well.
I'm not denying that.
No, so just, for instance, you find somebody whose salary, there's a DJ, his salary was 120, and he was giving the woman 40 and putting about 20 into an account for school later on. But the woman insisted that he must be giving her 70. And the guy said, if I give you, I will have to transport. I'll have to buy data because that's what I used to work. Because I have to download music and all of that. But you find a woman who says, no, as you're earning that much, you give me this amount. Even when she earns her own money, she doesn't want to drop it. So you find people who are reasonable
And
both
those
ways.
that are unreasonable.
So what I always tell people is marry a man whose leadership you can submit to. Because I realize that we all have different temperaments. And this also comes into play in the homes where you have like a laid-back man. Maybe he's a phlegmatic by temperament. He's not the one to, assert himself and push forward and all that. And then he marries a wife who is more into asserting. Ask yourself, does this work for us? Where I cannot assert myself, can my wife assert herself in the home and it works for us? Are we playing as a team? Because if you're playing as a team, you will not have an issue of I'm the one controlling and this person is the one controlling. You will work together based on your strengths and your weaknesses. You will put it together. So a Mariah's house, for instance, can have the man on top, ordering everybody around, and she is submissive. And maybe a Topper's house is like a swap of the whole thing. But are they working together? Do they agree? Do they put things together? Do they make sure that they have a vision that they are following? Is it working for their children? Because if we say every man, whether you have the capacity to lead or not, must be the one shouting, I'm the head of the house, I'm the head of the house, it may send a very negative role to the children who, after a while, they start seeing that our daddy really doesn't have the capacity to be in this position. But if he balances out, the children will align because now they have peace and harmony in the home to grow. And if, for instance, there are 3, and maybe one of the boys decide to take after the father, he understands that, okay, I have like daddy's temperament, so I can just sit back a bit and just let this other person work.
There is no need to be shouting, I am the head of this house. Whether you are a man or a woman, I'm the head of this house. Which house?
There's a problem already. There is definitely a big problem.
There's already a big problem because, and being the head of a home doesn't equate to being the head of a corporation. If you're a woman and
yes,
you are the head of a
yes,
corporation,
yes.
good, you are doing well in your chosen field. You know,
There was a stage play like that one time where the man was the husband at home and then the junior staff
in the office.
Oh, and they worked in the same environment.
I want to bring in, you know, we're talking about the fact that this is international. We're talking, this month is about women and all of that. And we're always talking about being digital equity. I feel that we need to begin to hold pastors responsible that push narratives like this.
Yeah.
Because the narrative would spread and a lot of people that are gullible will fall for it. We should ensure that if messages like this come out, there must be, and pastors should be able to confront this person. You know, everybody has someone above them that would, a regulator that would check that.
Check your home.
Because, you know,
Okay,
every
so
country,
they don't. So let's move on. Let's move on.
the CAC was supposed to create a regulatory system for churches so that your messages must align with, because for the greater good of our society, we want people to be comfortable.
What if he received this message from his God? Which one is your message?
Let's leave that.
How?
We have to wrap up on
So
this because there's a lot to talk about.
with what has happened
Just
in
use
the
your
last,
head as a
what has happened in the last election, we know some of them don't hear from anybody.
Discuss that.
All
after
the
break.
predictions.
But I think it's a good way to wrap up this because one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this was just to, as a reminder that women are getting more successful, and it's this conversation of who heads the house, who does what, and what the roles entail must be continually discussed and evaluated within your home.
Yeah.
Every house is different.
Yes.
And regardless of what you guys agree on, mutual respect is extremely important, regardless of who plays which role. Mutual respect is important in the homes, and I think
exactly.
houses like this should be.
I think that's it. Mutual respect.
So stop.